What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 718 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you from Underground Studios and joining us via Bloomington, Indiana, as he does on every Thursday episode. It's Thursdays with HK. Harrison Krementz joins the program once again. We'll talk some more parade because, newsflash, the Eagles are still Super Bowl champs. We'll talk some of the speeches more in depth than the last episode that dropped. As we're recording this about an hour ago, the Eagles have named Kevin Patullo their new offensive coordinator. So we'll dive into some of that and what that means for the offense, for Jalen Hurts, and where they go from here to hire some of the now openings due to Kellen Moore swiping our coaching staff. No, it's all good, Kevin. But Kellen, you need to chill out a little bit now, Kellen. You took enough. You took enough cookies out of the cookie jar. Now let's relax a little bit, okay? We'll talk about that. We'll just talk vibes because it's all Eagles, baby. It's Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Yes, the Phillies are at spring training, but we're not ready to come off of this high just yet, okay? Once the games start rolling down in Clearwater, once some more stuff comes rolling around, we're going to have the Phillies kind of. You guys know how we get down with the fightings, okay? We do the fightings big, but we just want a fucking Super Bowl. So we're going to keep riding this wave, keep riding high, and enjoying the good times. Before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. Search Underground Sports Philadelphia under social media platform of choice. We are on all of them. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It does go a long way for helping this show continue to grow, helps more people find our entire catalog of podcasts on our network. So keep subscribing, leave those 5-star reviews, 5-star ratings on Apple and Spotify, and help us continue to grow the charts and get on those podcast charts. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, including Outside the Box, Get in the Hole, Top Bins with myself, Harrison, and Mark, Underground Circuit with Casey and Owen, Streamer Season. All of our podcasts are on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 1,030 subscribers, which means 70 more before March Madness tips off, and we will hit our next goal. So keep subscribing. 70 more subscribers is our next goal. So let's get to 1,100. And I forget if I told you, Harrison, but because we hit 1,000 subscribers, I now have to watch season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, well,
that was my promise on Streamer Season, was that when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and this was probably a long time ago, this was probably like right after you had left, Dylan and I were like figuring out things for us to do when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and I now have to follow through, and season 1 of Game of Thrones will get watched at some point, but it is on my to-do list now, and I will be watching season 1 of Game of Thrones for Streamer Season.
Seasons 1 through 6 are absolute peak. Season 7 is pretty damn good. Season 8 is the worst pile of dog shit I've ever seen in my life.
Which I'm so excited to get to that point.
Yeah, once you get to season 8 and you finish it up, you're just gonna be sitting there. Because I watched that season or the series finale with one of my good buddies back home, and after the final credits had aired, we were just sitting there in pure silence for like 5, maybe 10 minutes, just getting our thoughts straight. And then the first words out of either of our mouths were, "What the fuck was that?" So, yeah.
Yeah. And after seeing what season 3 of House of the Dragon is going to start with in the premiere episode, I'm just like, I'm juiced up, ready to fucking rock and roll.
It's so worth the watch. It really is. No matter how much I complain about the ending of the show, It's a phenomenal series. It truly is. The acting is top notch. It's just the ending fucking sucks.
And it's so funny how everyone is like, "You've never seen Game of Thrones, but you're watching House of the Dragon?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a prequel to everything you've already
Ugh.
watched. I'm watching it in sequential order, you dipshits."
I watched Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3, then 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Nerd.
You know, that's how I learned how to count in preschool. You
You know,
dingus.
you go 1, then you go 2, then you go
You know,
3.
you ever heard of Sesame Street? The vampire, the count, he taught me how to do this.
1, 2,
Ah.
3.
Oh, it's so good.
Maybe they're Cowboys fans who don't know how to count anymore, you know?
That could be true. But subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city organized, city sponsored, and city affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Harrison, it has been since before the parade, since we've recorded an episode together. The parade has happened. I was there at the very beginning. They started 10 minutes early. I was kind of bummed about that. We were like sprinting because we had to park like a mile and a half away. We were parked on Christopher Columbus Boulevard, and we're like sprinting. I like trekked like I don't even know what. Like I felt like I was like going through like the closet into the woods of the Chronicles of Narnia, like just traveling down like everything, just walking up to the stadiums. And then we see the buses start pulling out. I'm like, it's 10:50. What is going on?
They're just
But I
here
did
early.
capture.
Rock and roll.
They were ready to go, which I was bummed that like we couldn't get closer because as you see the buses pulling out, they were stopping in front of the guardrails in front of like Citizens Bank Park and everything for people to take pictures and videos. And I was like, I could have been closer. But I did get some fun like far vantage point photos with my camera, which was dope.
Hell yeah.
That was my only regret, was not being there a little bit earlier. But nonetheless, still fun to be a part of it, and being around the vibes was great. And I gotta say, like, I brought this up on the last episode I recorded solo.
Yeah.
The more and more, and it kind of resonated with me at the parade more so than anything. Like, it still hasn't hit me that we've won the Super Bowl. Like, it still is not fully sunk in, but it has sunk in why I appreciate this Super Bowl to the degree I appreciate it. I'm saying I appreciate it more than I appreciated 2017, because that's your first time. You'll always remember that. And that season was just so storybook.
Magical.
This one, I think I appreciate to the level I appreciate, because the more I look at this team and the more I look at what they have done, not only on the field, but off the field, and watching Saquon Barkley find the ball boy in the crowd and lift him up like he was a piece of paper. To see the Eagles
Nolan's
offensive line bring the Becht family and have, him come up to the podium with Saquon for his speech, and bring him on the float with them and their family. And, Nolan Smith parody abducting a child. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith running through the streets with kids, and it looked like real life Rocky.
Yeah.
This team is so likable.
They're
And I
just a
don't
bunch of
think
good
we've
dudes.
like fully like comprehended that, because every team you look at, there's a couple guys here and there that, like, they're good football players, they're good baseball players, good hockey player, basketball
Yeah.
player, lacrosse player, whatever it may be, but they're
Dickheads.
not the greatest of dudes.
Exactly.
They just kind of show up, they don't do anything in the community type of thing, so you can't really relate with them.
Yep.
I genuinely, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan, like a true Eagles fan, I genuinely don't think there is a single person on the Super Bowl champion Eagles roster that you can have a bad thing to say about. They are that likable of human beings that
Yeah.
it is so easy to just like resonate with them and relate to them in so many different ways, whether it's somebody quiet and reserved like Jalen Hurts or Devontae Smith, or somebody who's loud and outspoken like Brandon Graham, like,
Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson, like Mekhi Becton, like Darius Slay, like
Yeah.
CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like, there's so many guys that you can relate to
Oh, CJ.
and just embrace them. And I think it's cool that like every single person that you talk to that's an Eagles fan, they have a different favorite Eagle on this team because of that. Because this team is so relatable and so like kind, and like they're just great people. And I don't think that's a common thing in sports today. Like,
No.
I can't remember the last time we've had a full roster of a team in this city that every player was a genuine, good-hearted dude.
It feels like the 2008 Phillies might have been that last team.
Yeah,
'Cause I
and even then they had Adam Eaton, and everyone hated Adam Eaton.
Yeah. Like, straight up from top to bottom on this roster, there's not a singular dude that I would not want to go out and have a beer with. I would wanna have a beer with every single one of these
I
guys.
want to hug every single player on the team.
Yes. They just seem like genuine good dudes, and they were having the time of their lives at that parade. I just shout out to James Bradbury, because he made the ultimate veteran move. He saw Q having a little too much fun and a camera coming right up to his face, and he was like,
Go Eagles!
and Bradbury's like, all right. Hey, you can focus on me. Focus on me. He's 22, he's 22, he's 23. He's it's his rookie year. Let him celebrate the parade and don't put a camera in his face, because he's gonna say something stupid. But like,
Did you see
he's
all the
gonna probably,
photos afterwards of Q?
oh my god.
Every block they were on, he had a different giant picture of an Eagles player.
Yep.
Like,
was
he had
amazing.
Jalen Hurts as a Saint. He
Yep.
had
Saquon Barkley doing the
Saquon
hurdle.
for president.
Yeah, Saquon for president, that's what that was. Because I saw someone did bring a cutout of the hurdle.
Yes, there was a whole bunch that it was so goddamn funny. And
Also,
then it
shout
was
out,
all the young guys like living their best lives. Like Cooper DeJean was on
Oh,
cloud 9,000.
hey, we did have a couple injuries on Friday.
Coops was self-inflicted.
Coops was self-inflicted. He cut himself on, to quote, his big ass Bud Light chain. Then Howie Roseman takes a beer to the dome and then says, "You know what? We ride. I bleed for this city."
What a quote. What a quote.
We could not have a better GM if we like created one in a lab. He is
the best.
Philadelphia. He's Philadelphia. And yeah, Tiger Beck's family there, and his buddies giving the speech with Saquon, which so awesome. Had to censor him a couple times, which
Reed was on another planet.
God, I love Reed. They introduce him as the exciting whites, which I love that they fully leaned into it.
And then they just start rapping Meek Mill, which was the most white boy thing to do.
Yeah. Hey, the second we finished, the Super Bowl was over and the game audio was off at the bar, I put on Dreams and Nightmares and I was just rapping bar for bar, you know?
And like every player, like, and Josh Sweat pulling up in Chris Long's fur coat, that was unexpected that it was going to be Josh Sweat.
Yeah, I love it though.
He said he reached out to him in 2022, but obviously we ended up losing, so he couldn't do it. But he said he got his redemption with this one.
I wish the D-line had wore 6 sack shirts. I wish they had done that, but it's okay.
I wish they would have worn 0 blitzes.
0, that would have worked too. And then Jordan Mailata leading the crowd and We Are the Champion with his golden voice. A golden voice for a golden god.
So good. I was impressed by Darius Slay's speech. I thought he would go a little like off the rails a little bit, not to like be crazy, but I thought he would have like been a little more like rah, but like his speech really was like really good.
It was low key. It was the story of his career, pretty much.
Yeah. And like, you know, the more like Saquon, like somebody had like a handle of Hennessy out and he just grabbed it, took it to the face. Saquon Barkley. And then, you know, he shotgunned more beers in the streets with people.
Nolan Smith had a beer. What?
Yeah,
2
his
beers.
What?
3 beers.
Another beer. What? 4 beers. What?
And a shot of Fireball.
Beers. He had 9 beers and a shot of Fireball in the parade route.
And that is what we know of. He may have had more.
Oh, I can confirm he had a lot more because Nolan Smith went live on Instagram a day or 2 before the parade, maybe.
Yeah.
And that man had cases of bottles sent to his house.
It's elite. It's elite.
He had some rosé. He had a whole, like, I kid you not, dude, it was cases of liquor. And he popped 1 bottle in the Instagram live, and then Nolan Smith was live the night of the parade with fans, just going live with fans that like joined the thing, and they were like, "Yo, are you good, bro?" He's like, "Man, I'm just happy to be alive right now." God, he had to get police escorted back to the link because he was walking in the street and was like stumbling over his feet.
I guarantee the police were like, "Is that Nolan Smith?"
They were like, "Come on, buddy."
It's Nolan Smith. Hey, where you trying to go, buddy? Home field. Home field. I'm forgetting the name. Home field. We got you. Come on. We're just come on with us. We're gonna take you back to the link. We're gonna get you home safe.
Jason Kelsey bartended at McGillen's after.
And Nick Sirianni was bartending in Haddon Township, wasn't he?
Yep.
Just an elite bunch of dudes. Elite
and
bunch
then
of dudes.
AJ Brown's speech was injected into my veins.
They can call me a diva. They can say I'm too focused on stats. But one thing they can never take away from me, I'm a fucking world champ.
Oh, his speech was perfect. CJGJ walking the streets with a belt, just belt to ass, whole time.
And his Swifties hoodie. Oh, he's about to start a war.
Oh, so good.
And I don't think Swifties want the smoke with Eagles fans. That's the thing.
No. And I was just like, and like Lane Johnson's speech was great. And we called it on the show. We said Landon Dickerson was going to deliver one that was going to like raise his stock with the fans. I loved every ounce of Landon Dickerson's speech because not only did he have some F-bombs, not only did he say shit a couple of times, but it was just heartfelt. And I think Landon Dickerson's the type of guy that you don't know you can relate to him because he is from the South. He likes to ride his lawnmower and do his thing. But his speech was so heartfelt. And like him saying, and I brought this up on the episode that dropped most recently, I said, a player can say, "Oh, it's felt like I've never played an away game in my career," and people be like, "Oh, that's cool." But for him to go up in front of millions of people, both there and watching worldwide, and say, "I don't think I've ever played an away game in my career," like that is special.
Yeah. And that's a testament to how good Eagles fans are. Like we traveled better than every single other franchise in the NFL. We care about this team to a level where we get angry at them and they understand our anger when they're not doing well. We boo because we care. And when we're doing well, there ain't no boos. It's nothing but love and cheers. And that's what every single other fan base in the NFL doesn't recognize. Yes, we're loud. Yes, we're dickheads. But we're dickheads because we have so much love and respect for this team that we want them to be performing at the best level they can possibly be playing at. And it hurts us when we see them not performing up to the level that we know they can play at. And Friday was a culmination of all the love and hard work that everyone put in. And get used to it, Philadelphia, because we're gonna have a couple more in the next few years.
And my thing, two things.
Yeah,
Why do we need politicians speaking at Super Bowl parades
we don't.
or at championship parades? Oh, that's right. We don't. The mayor's speech was 30 seconds shorter than every Eagles player's speech combined.
And it was also 30 seconds shorter than the amount of time we spent trailing in the entire playoffs, which is I saw that stat and I was like, there's no goddamn way that's a thing. And to be fair, Mayor of Philadelphia, that one makes sense. She had to get her get back for the ELGSES.
Yeah, but nobody is there to hear you speak, especially after a 7-mile parade. Everyone who's been there has been there for hours and hours and hours. They're drunk off their ass.
Also,
just say, "Hey, congratulations to the Eagles, go Birds," and keep it moving.
Did you see that guy who was losing his breakfast and still had the wherewithal to go EAGLES, just puking his guts out?
It was insane.
I love it.
That, and then the other thing that I was going to bring up that I'm trying to remember now. What was I going to say? Eagle speeches.
Drunk as shit on the parade route. Saquon taking a pull out of the Henny bottle. Reed Blankenship. I'm Reed when they're chanting.
That was great.
Coop.
Oh, this is the other thing I was going to say. The parade fell on Valentine's Day. We're gonna take a quick time out here.
Yeah.
From now on, February 14th is known as 2024 Parade Day in my book. Fuck Valentine's Day.
Fuck Valentine's Day. Hallmark ass holiday. It is now we will celebrate in Philadelphia with
Bird Day.
Landon Dickerson yelling "Go fucking Birds" on live TV more than once. We'll celebrate with videos of Nolan Smith abducting the child out of the crowd and running around the parade ground with him on his shoulders. We'll celebrate with Quinion Mitchell. Go Eagles!
Can we also talk about as somebody who obviously is running this company and somebody like yourself, Harrison, who pays attention to brands and everything like that? No free ads. One of the best marketing campaigns in recent memory from Jordan Brand.
Oh yeah, phenomenal. I hope they keep the love hurts the hurts bit of the statue up next to love.
So cool
for a while, because that's something that should stay up until we're not Super Bowl champions anymore. Which that could stay up for the next 2, 3.
That commercial airing right after the Super Bowl was cinema. The
Yes.
branding throughout the Super Bowl was great. The hoodie Jalen has on to showcase it, that funnily
Yep.
enough, everyone's like freaking out because it's still not available online. I think Jalen
Well,
has the only one, which is so funny.
they might just need to make that a 1 of 1 and keep it with Jalen, which I would hate because I want one so bad, but like
Jalen's cleats were amazing. Did you see these from the Super Bowl?
I think I did. Let me
His cleats, I saw close-ups of them. So he obviously like wore the red ones for warm-ups and everything, but he
Oh,
also has these other ones that he wore
yeah.
that are
The
green
green. Yeah. Oh, those are
that
clean.
have his logo on it, and then inside the tongue it's like "Be Jalen Hurts, that's enough" or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
that is fire. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that we have an athlete in the state of Philadelphia who is now like the face of a brand or like a branch of that brand is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely cannot, like, the last time I think was Allen Iverson with Reebok,
Yeah. And then, Joel Embiid has his Under Armour stuff.
which he got screwed with, and now he's with Skechers.
Yep.
And, Bryce Harper, I think
He's a Nike athlete, I believe.
is he?
I believe. I mean, I've seen him wearing Jordan cleats.
He's Under Armour.
Under Armour. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Like,
I
there
can't think of
genuinely has not been an athlete that has been like the face of a brand like that. And the
No.
fact that it's Jalen Hurts is the coolest shit ever.
And then, we had Nike It Ain't Easy Being Green with Patrick Mahomes narrating the commercial.
Which, funnily enough, Patrick Mahomes, Adidas athlete.
Yep.
So that was
So
the
Mahomes.
deepest layer of that.
Yep.
Also, did you see
What, the
AJ
burning of
Brown's
oh,
AJ Brown's longtime girlfriend posted on her Instagram story that he got a
mannequin?
life-size mannequin, and then
Yep.
AJ posted it on his socials. It's fully dressed. It's not just the jersey. It's the jersey, the pants, his cleats, socks, gloves, armband, helmet, mouth guard. But in the pants is his Inner Excellence book.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You kidding me?
And now everybody's saying AJ Brown getting ready every day. And it's Bruce Wayne walking up to the bat suit.
Oh, yeah. It's how do you not love AJ Brown?
He is the best.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Master Brown.
He's the best. Ugh. The parade was incredible. And our parade breakdown brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, and Delaware areas. You can also get it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Harrison, I'm sending you a photo that hopefully soon to be friend of the program and follower of the program, Aaron Grugan, took at the parade. It is the ultimate advertisement for Kenny. It's the beverage of champions.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's a perfect photo.
Perfect.
Perfect photo.
Yeah, perfect photo.
The beverage of champions, Kenwood Beer. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Go to your local liquor stores. Check out Kenwood Beer. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. Harrison, we had some news before we started recording today. The Eagles decided to announce who their new OC is going to be. And our breakdown of this is brought to you by our friends over at 47 brand. We love 47. Their hats are just simply the best. And I have my 47 brand Super Bowl champions hat on the way. It should be here tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. I don't think that thing will ever leave my head. They also just put onto their website all of the gear for the TGL, Tiger Woods' new indoor golf league that is using the simulator, which is so entertaining to watch.
It's so cool.
Big fans of the TGL. The Get in the Hole boys love the TGL. They've got the TGL stuff available on their website. They've got all the stuff you need to help celebrate the Eagles Super Bowl championship, gear up for spring training with the fills, and get ready for the season. They've got so much new stuff available. They just announced a collaboration with Tommy Hilfiger. 47 is true to roof. We love 47 brand here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Use our link in the description and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family today. Again, free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family by using our link in the description. And shout out to 47 for being a proud partner of the podcast. Harrison, the Eagles announced that Kevin Patullo is the new offensive coordinator for our Philadelphia Eagles. Now, everyone's probably wondering, who's Kevin Patullo? Kevin Patullo, everybody, is the Eagles' pass game coordinator, associate head coach, has been with the Eagles since Nick Sirianni came to Philadelphia, has worked very closely with Jalen Hurts. I'll give you a little rundown of his journey to offensive coordinator. This comes from the official DraftKings Twitter account. He started as a USF grad assistant. Then he went to being an Arizona grad assistant. Then he joined the Kansas City Chiefs as an offensive assistant. He was a Bills quality control coach, a Bills offensive assistant, the Titans assistant wide receiver coach, a Jets quarterback coach, Texas A&M senior assistant, Colts wide receiver coach, Colts pass game specialist, Eagles pass game coordinator, and Eagles associate head coach. Now, everybody is probably like, why are we doing an internal hire? We've done this before. Brian Johnson, we've done this. Here's the thing, guys. A couple things before we dive into more on why I'm totally cool with this hiring. Number one, when we hired Brian Johnson, we also hired Sean Desai as our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Two inexperienced coordinators at the same time. You don't have that same issue because Vic Fangio's not leaving. So you still have your veteran, savvy, future Hall of Fame defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, as the defensive coordinator, while you have Kevin Patullo, who's been in the building, like Brian Johnson was, but been in the building and kind of in lockstep with both Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore this past season. Now, Jeff McClain put this on Twitter. A few things on the Eagles promoting Kevin Patullo as offensive coordinator that he's been hearing from sources. So take it for what you will. Number one, he was the leading candidate once the team knew that Kellen Moore was likely to leave for the Saints head coaching job. So that was who they had their eyes on from the jump. So there was not an extensive search. Patullo has been Nick Sirianni's right-hand man for years, and the head coach believed him ready to take the reins. There was also plenty of internal support for the move from assistants, players, and staffers. That's a green flag for me. The Eagles also wanted to maintain continuity. Jalen Hurts has had 5 different play callers and played in 4 different schemes in his first 6 NFL seasons, not to mention constant change he endured in college. Patullo has never called plays in the NFL or at any level, but he's been involved in the process on game days and has handled the duties before in practice settings. Kind of like iffy on that. It's interesting that he's never called plays and Sirianni's not a play caller, so you're bringing in somebody who's not experienced in that sense. But the fact that he's managed it and he's been involved in the process on game days, which I don't think we ever heard about Brian Johnson. And if we did, I apologize for not remembering because I try to block Brian Johnson's tenure as offensive coordinator out of my head. That's promising. McClain also says the scheme and terminology is expected to stay the same as it was under Kellen Moore. Green flag. The 2024-2025 offense, though, still had elements of Sirianni's pass scheme to emphasize Jalen Hurts' strengths. Totally fine. And I think we all know what one of those emphasized strengths are, and that's the tush push. Patullo has a good understanding of Hurts' passing abilities, having worked closely with him the last 4 seasons. Green flag. Patullo was the pass game coordinator, but also that also involves the run game, particularly the run pass option plays that Patullo helped design in Philadelphia. Massive green flag. And finally, Jeff Stoutland, will retain his title as run game coordinator and oversee the ground game. Perfectly fine with that as well. Should be the case. The big thing that stands out to me is Kevin Patullo's the one that designed the RPO plays for Jalen Hurts. And I think if we've seen Jalen run those RPOs this year, for the most part, when they go off, they go off.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think this is a phenomenal hire. All things considered, if we couldn't keep Kellen Moore around, it's better to bring in someone who's been with Jalen Hurts. Is if you bring in an outside hire for someone who's Jalen's 9th offensive coordinator in 10 years, someone who doesn't know him as well as someone who's been in the program, you don't know what kind of chemistry that upsets with the team. This is a guy who's been with the team, helped us win the Super Bowl last year, as you said, designed those RPOs that really work with Jalen Hurts. And I don't think it's going to change the team's formula too much. It might start leaning a little bit more heavily on Jalen Hurts, which is a pretty damn good thing, in my opinion. He's a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and he ain't 5 or he ain't 3. So just someone who will allow Jalen Hurts to play free and play the way he did in the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, and allow our wide receivers to be creative and allow Saquon to do what Saquon does. I don't think we're going to have a down hitch in our offensive capabilities this year. I think that we're going to keep up the same output we had last year, and this team is just going to continue to be a scary juggernaut. I think they really are. So I like the hire.
Yeah.
I really like
And
it.
on top of the Twitter account, The Honest NFL, which, if I'm remembering correctly, like has worked in the NFL, has worked with the Eagles, something like he's got a history in the NFL to some degree. Quote tweeted the Eagles official announcement, said, "Given the circumstances, this is the most logical choice, and I strongly believe it's the best thing for Hurts's development as the conductor of the offense. Were there more qualified and experienced options available? Yes, but I didn't feel there were any slam dunks since they come from different systems, and system continuity is so crucial for a quarterback looking to take bigger strides as a pre-snap chess player that streamlines post-snap decision-making. He wants to be able to master a system and maximize the potential of every snap, and this is the best path towards that. Off seasons for quarterbacks with system continuity allows for a completely different level of work than one where you have to learn a new one once again. I've always compared it to the editing phase of a movie. They can go through the previous season, see what worked, what didn't, what you like, dislike, what you want to do more/less of, and make corrections that can be directly applied going into next season. I don't know much about Patullo as a football mind, but he has been a big cog in this offense throughout this era, and there's no acclimation phase between he and the players. How it'll actually work remains to be seen, but I do think this was the best thing for Jalen Hurts."
Yes. Again, this is just to make sure that Jalen Hurts keeps up the level of play that he has shown that he can. And a guy within our system who coordinated the passing game, coordinated the RPOs, knows Nick Sirianni very well, knows the team very well, works with Jeff Stoutland well. A+ hire. A+.
And I think if you're getting like green lights from people in the building about the hire, that's a good sign.
Yep. Let's see here. Jalen Hurts has a statement. Jalen Hurts says it's hard to compare that role to this role because his job is going to demand something completely different of him, and I have a lot of confidence in him and what he's shown.
Oh yeah, that was like right before the Super Bowl or something. It was like before the hire.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, it doesn't sound like Kevin Patullo's a good hire." And it's like, I think he kind of just caught Jalen Hurts off guard with that question because he wasn't ready to answer it.
Yep. But the fact that he said he has a lot of confidence in him, even off guard, it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
So yeah, I'm totally okay with the hire. Now it's a matter of getting the guys that Kellen Moore took. You know, he obviously took, I think, 2 or 3 coaches from the Eagles. Now it's a matter of filling those roles and figuring out, okay, who's going to take over here. Obviously, got to replace Kevin Patullo's former role and everything. I know I've been at the forefront of saying quarterback coach Doug Peterson. That remains to be seen.
I
But
would love that. Love
I
that.
think there's ways to. I think the biggest hire is quarterback coach now,
Yep.
and making sure that you have somebody that's working close with not only Jalen Hurts, but whoever Jalen Hurts' backup is going to be with Tanner McKee, and figuring out, okay, what's the best course of action going in lockstep with Kevin Patullo as our new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts' best track to success once again.
Yep. And now that Kevin Patullo is our OC, our head coach is Nick Sirianni, our DC is Vic Fangio, our OC is Kevin Patullo, and we got Big Dom, a bunch of paisans running this team.
It's the Sopranos.
It's the Sopranos. And, Sopranos, one of the greatest shows of all time. Can we see them turn this into one of the greatest teams of all time? Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I if I had to rate the hire, 8.3, just because we don't really know much about him, but because it's continuity, because it's somebody Jalen Hurts knows, and from all the green flags, 8.3 out of 10 higher. Like it's a B minus.
I like it. It's a very, very suitable hire. Now we'll just have to wait and see how he performs. But I think it's a very good hire. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good hire. I think we'll see more of it as things just continue to go through and align themselves. But a good hire nonetheless. Some other news that has come out today is the salary cap will be rising once again in 2025 by at least $22 million.
I can hear Jeffrey Lowry's evil laugh from here.
Howie Roseman, cue many men.
Yeah.
He's ready to rock and roll again.
We're gonna pull some insane shit now that the cap has been raised. Zach Bond, you get your bag. Mekhi Becton, you get your bag. Milton Williams, you get your bag. Just all of our key free agents are going to stay in Philadelphia.
So it's good that the cap's going up yet again, and a lot of people are talking about the cap going up significantly down the line because the way that they have now found a way to streamline streaming numbers for TV ratings and everything, those numbers are going to be more reflective in the next like CBA and the next salary cap kind of negotiating table. So like down the line when everyone's saying, oh, Howie Roseman's going to have to rework the cap down the line because he's never going to keep getting away with it. Yes, he is, because he's a goddamn genius and sees all of this going before anyone else does. So suck it, dickheads. You brought up you brought up Mekhi Becton though, and I think this is interesting. Because on 97.5's morning show, Kincaid and Salchunas, Andrew Salchunas himself tweeted, quote, I think there's a real chance that he being Mekhi Becton, winds up staying. And that was a quote from Adam Schefter to John Kincaid and Andrew Salchunas this morning. I've said it since we've seen him kind of fit into this locker room and be a big-time player, a big ticket, if you will, his nickname nonetheless. Mekhi Becton feels like a guy who wants to be here. And when they did that studio show that they always do with the players every week, and Mekhi saying, like, he felt like he was meant to be at this organization his entire career. It felt like they made him feel like family. They made him feel appreciated. That to me was a huge like sign that like Mekhi Becton was happy here. He wasn't, disgruntled by being kicked inside to play guard. Like he felt a new lease on life in terms of football. And that was a good sign to me. Then you see the emotion that overcomes his face, during the NFC Championship game, and then obviously on the field, during the Super Bowl with his child, playing in the confetti and everything and celebrating with his family, and seeing how much joy he had at the parade. And he posted on his Instagram story a couple days ago, he got a Super Bowl tattoo, and instead of the typical Lombardi inscription, it's a giant ticket, and it has the date as one of the ticket stub numbers, the score as the other, and then it's got the LI. It's a very cool tattoo. Mekhi Becton feels like a guy who's going to be here for quite some time.
Yes.
And
Feels like
I don't think he's somebody that's looking for a huge payday per se. He's gonna get a pay raise for sure, but he feels like a guy that, let me look up his contract from this year. It was obviously kind of a vet minimum. It was we had Mekhi Becton for 1 year, $2.75 million. He's made $21 million in his career because obviously he was a first round pick with the Jets and had that 4 year, like $18.5 million contract as a rookie. But I genuinely think you can get Mekhi Becton if you want to, if you're Howie Roseman, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, and you're Nick Sirianni. You get Mekhi Becton on a 3 year, say, $36 million,
yeah.
33 million, something like in that 33 to 36 million. I think Mekhi Becton signs that with no issue because he feels like he wants to be here.
He feels like he can win some titles here.
He knows his role, and then you still have more offensive line continuity, and he'd be playing next to the same guys again.
And the fans have embraced him. The city's embraced him. The team would not be in the position that they were in without him. This is his hometown now. Like we have welcomed him with open arms, and it's shown in his play, in the way he carries himself on and off the field. He is a Philadelphia Eagle, and it would kill me a little bit inside to see him wearing another team's jersey. I'm not even gonna lie.
Isn't it crazy that last year was his age 25 season?
Yeah.
Like he's so much younger than I thought he was.
We have so many good young players. What we're the youngest team in the NFL or the second youngest team in the NFL.
Youngest defense in the
Youngest
NFL.
Jalen Hurts is 26, 27.
Mm-hmm. 26.
AJ Brown is 28.
27. He'll be 28 next year.
Devontae Smith is 26. Saquon Barkley's 28. The oldest guy on our team is Lane Johnson and Brandon Graham.
Mm-hmm. Goddard will be 29 or 30 next year. So he's like one of the few like older players on offense.
Darius Slay's what, 30?
34.
Really?
Yeah. Him and Brandon Graham were like the only ones bringing the average age down as low as it was, even though we were still the youngest defense in the league.
Yeah. And they're still very important pieces. This isn't just like these are some vets who can still go out there and flat out ball. So this team is going to be good for years and years and years to come. It's especially nice watching Dallas go into their downfall era, because we got to talk a little bit about Dak Prescott and what that bozo had to say. Does he really genuinely believe that next year is the Cowboys' year?
He's such a moron.
Yeah, the Eagles got theirs, so I don't see why we can't go out there and get ours. Maybe it's because you're run by a living zombie who doesn't care about your team, and the fact that you are not a good quarterback, and you're going to lose Micah Parsons, and you might eventually lose CD. It's a shit show out there.
He's an idiot, but there's only one person on the planet who I think might even be a bigger idiot than Dak Prescott, Harrison.
Yeah.
And before I talk about that big dumb dipshit, I want to tell everybody about somebody who's incredible, and that's our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company, where you can get exclusive PHI Apparel Company big game merchandise, big game champions merchandise that is absolutely clean. I can't wait to get my hoodie and my shirt because they are fire. Go to phiapparel.co. You can get Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Union gear, Philly-centric gear, Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch, which directly supports us. Go to phiapparel.co. When you go to checkout, use code Underground. You'll get 10% off your next merch order. Again, phiapparel.co, code Underground, 10% off your next merch order. Pete Prisco might be the biggest moron I've ever stumbled across on the internet. Now, I know Pete Prisco covers the Jaguars. I know he covers that sorry, sad organization. But my goodness, I've never seen somebody so delusional in my life. And then he goes on 97.5 because the clip got posted today. Shout out, I want to give proper credit to who posted it because it was 11 minutes of evisceration, Harrison. It was 11 minutes of pure, unadulterated evisceration. At Joe_Pez on the tweet machine posted the clip. Absolutely cooked Pete Prisco did the 97.5 morning show.
Yeah.
But Pete Prisco on the CBS Sports TikTok had a video doing a this or that, and it was Jalen Hurts versus the field. Here are the quarterbacks that Pete Prisco said he would rather have for the next 5 years over Jalen Hurts. Now, mind you, Harrison, did you not just say Jalen Hurts is 26 years old?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's 26.
So, first one was Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Whatever. It's the Jaden Daniels slobberfest. Mind you, I do want to pull this up for the people, Harrison. I do want to let people know this. Jalen Hurts, like you mentioned, 26 years old. He'll be 27 in August. Can I interest you in Jaden Daniels' age?
How old is he?
Oh, that's right. He's 24. He'll be 25 at the end of next season.
Oh, so he's just
Jalen Hurts will be playing in his 7th NFL season by the time Jaden Daniels is playing in his 2nd.
Wow. And he's just
They are
him?
2 years apart. Okay.
Years change. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So there you have it. Jaden Daniels was the first one he would rather have than Jalen Hurts for the next 5 years. Number 2, CJ Stroud.
Sophomore slump. He's a good quarterback. He's on a sophomore slump. I would definitely rather have Jalen Hurts over CJ Stroud, though. Like CJ Stroud, he's a fine quarterback. He's fine.
Did we not just watch one of the biggest regressions of the next anointed one that we've ever seen? And granted, yes, there's other parts to that, for sure. His offensive line, terrible. Weapons got hurt, sure. But a good quarterback finds a way to overcome those problems, and CJ Stroud crippled at those moments. He crumbled when the pressure got hot.
Absolutely. And we'll have to see how CJ Stroud does next year with what I'm assuming is going to be a revamped offensive line and his target's healthy again. But that regression this year was horrific to watch. And you're telling me you'd rather have that over Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP? Out your goddamn mind. Out your goddamn mind.
The next quarterback that Pete Prisco said he would rather have for the next 5 years over Jalen Hurts was Justin Herbert.
Someone who hasn't done anything?
Did we not just watch Justin Herbert put on the worst playoff performance of our lifetime?
Second worst, Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 50.
That's valid.
Second worst. At least his QBR was above 11.
Good grief, though. Like, what has Justin Herbert done to get this anointing of being like some sort of messiah to the quarterback position? Like, I get he can heave the ball down the field, sure. But genuinely, the more and more I watch, and I like Justin Herbert. I think he's a very good quarterback. But the more and more I watch this dude, the more and more I'm like, he can't fucking read a defense.
No.
He can't read an NFL defense.
And we saw how well Jalen Hurts read and adapted to the Chiefs' defense on Super Bowl Sunday when he completely eviscerated them after they were locking down Saquon Barkley.
Insane.
It was a masterclass reading a defense on Sunday.
I just don't know how you can honestly tell yourself that Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts simply because he can heave the ball down the field. Guess what? I'd rather my quarterback be a winner and go win Super Bowls and outplay this generation's like pariah king quarterback every time they've played against each other than have these empty stats. Because at the end of the day, Harrison, what do yards do? Oh, that's nothing.
Nothing. And
Nothing.
But before you continue on with this list, because there's one more egregious choice Mr. Prisco made. I just got to ask, when did winning the Super Bowl become this turn from this legacy defining thing to, oh, it's not that big of a deal?
It was when Jalen Hurts won it.
Yeah. It was literally 2 weeks ago when it was like, oh my God, if when Patrick Mahomes wins the three-peat, his legacy is for sure. He's going to be the GOAT. He's him. He's better than Tom Brady. No. Jalen Hurts wins it. Whatever. Has he won a regular season MVP? Grow up.
Crazy.
Grow up.
The next quarterback that he said was a toss-up for the next 5 years was Trevor Lawrence.
No. Someone who didn't even make the goddamn playoffs this year.
Cut me a break.
One of the worst teams in the NFL.
Who's also so injury prone.
He was in the same draft class as Jalen, wasn't he?
He was
either 19 or 20, right?
So Jalen was 2020.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence was first overall in 2021.
Okay, so a year later. So he's a year younger than Jalen Hurts?
They're about so like Trevor will turn 26 next season, and then after that, Jalen will turn 27.
So they're
it's like that weird like year-ish apart type thing. Because Trevor's birthday is October 6th. Jalen's birthday is August 7th. So Jalen will be 27.
Okay,
and then in October, Trevor will turn 26.
Year and change apart.
Yeah.
You're telling me you'd rather have a guy he hasn't won any playoff games in his career, has he?
The only one he won was when the Jacksonville Jaguars came back to beat Justin Herbert's Chargers in the playoffs, when Justin Herbert's Chargers had a wild, monstrous lead, and then they choked in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that was their one trip to the playoffs, or they made 2 trips to the playoffs, right? And then 2 years ago, they had that majestic collapse in which they threw it all the way to the Colts at the end of the season and allowed the Texans to win the AFC South. And then last year,
Trevor's played 2 games in the playoffs. It was the 2023 season, or the 2022 season, 2023 playoffs.
Yeah, because everybody was
the Chargers and then against the Chiefs.
Because everybody was projecting them to make the playoffs in 2023 into 2024, and then they collapsed.
Yeah.
And then last year they were abysmal.
Right.
So
yeah, a coin toss with the perennially injured, one trip to the playoffs in his career, Trevor Lawrence.
Disgusting.
Okay. And the next quarterback.
He's biased. He's a Jags guy.
It's so clear. The next quarterback that Pete Prisco says is he'd rather have Jalen Hurts over Caleb Williams. Perfectly fine. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, I'd rather have Jalen over Caleb Williams too.
The next one was Tua, and he took Jalen Hurts over Tua Tagovailoa. Absolutely. The next one.
He's thinking different than Nick Saban.
Oh, the next one.
Oh boy.
I need to see something because I didn't even look up this quarterback's age. Okay, so this next quarterback is 3 months older than me. To the day. 3 months exactly. His birthday is July 29th, 1993. Pete Prisco said he would rather have Dak Prescott for the next 5 years over Jalen Hurts.
Jesus Christ. Yes.
A guy who is 5 years older than Jalen Hurts.
A guy in his 30s. nearing the
Who
tail end
hasn't
of his
won?
career.
Who has not won dick in the NFL?
He hasn't won diddly squat.
Perennial choker. Like regular season merchant.
Regular season merchant. What has he done in the playoffs? All right, he's won one game. One playoff game. Only to get the absolute piss beaten out of him the next week.
I could not believe my eyes when I saw he chose Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts. The next one also blew my mind. The next one also blew my mind. He chose Baker Mayfield for the next 5 years over Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not discrediting what Baker has done over the last couple of seasons in Tampa Bay. Great job revitalizing his career.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield will also be 30 years old this April.
Yes. Great quarterback, but I would not rather have him for 5 years over Jalen Hurts.
And I think Baker was the last one of the video. Yes.
Right.
So this man said he would rather have Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and potentially Trevor Lawrence over Jalen Hurts.
All of those are insane. But the one that really just grinds my gears and makes me bash my head.
And CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud also on that list.
The one that really just makes me want to bash my head in against the wall is the fact that he said, yeah, I'll take Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts. Are you stupid?
Like, what a moron. And then he gets absolutely cooked on the radio today at 97.5, rightfully so. Just an absolute big dumb dipshit.
97.5 doing a good job for once.
Like, I think you could see your reflection. Here's the coin toss, Harrison. Here's the coin toss. The way I could see my reflection in the Lombardi Trophy might be the same way I see my reflection in Pete Prisco's bald head. That's how shiny that head looks.
Hey, and his brain is as smooth.
Like,
his brain is as smooth as his bald head.
We were talking about before we started. How do these people have jobs in the media?
That's a great question. I don't know. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling.
It blows my mind that these are the people that have jobs. Meanwhile, we're over here providing for the people.
Listen to the people's opinions.
And we want to talk about Dak Prescott and CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Give me a break.
Dak Prescott? Dak goddamn Prescott. Not even Dallas. Dallas fans would be praying for Jalen Hurts to come take over their team.
Embarrassing, man.
Embarrassing.
I think that's all we got for you guys on this one. A lot of fun, talking more birds. A lot of news came through regarding, some upcoming stuff. We got a whole lot more Eagles talk coming. We got a Philly season to prep for.
Yep.
Underground Madness is less than a month away. It'll be Harrison's first.
Yeah.
How excited are you to be part of the March Madness content team?
I'm very excited for that. It would be a lot more exciting if Indiana basketball was, good. But
it'd be great if Villanova was in for me, but they are nowhere close. But I'm excited simply because, we had Steve on for the gambling preview for the Super Bowl, and that was your first content interaction. You've obviously met DJ a couple of times back in the day, but to have the full mix and doing watch-alongs and everything, I'm pumped to have you back in the mix for this time of year, the tail end of football into basketball. You're in a basketball city. Going into the Philly season, it is the perfect sled of content that we're going to be doing.
Possibly the basketball city when it comes to college basketball. It's us, Cameron, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and Los Angeles.
And Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, baby. Let's go Big Five basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, before you know it, Underground Madness will be back, and we're taking it to a whole new level than we did even last year. We're going to have watch-alongs. We're going to have our giveaways. We're going to have our mega bracket that we do every year with the people. It's going to be so much fun. So stay tuned. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming for you guys. But the best way to keep up to date, follow us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. Follow Underground Sports Philadelphia on your social media platform of choice. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find our entire catalog of podcasts here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. Also, if you're a college lacrosse fan and you want some added college lacrosse content, DJ and I put the gauntlet out there on OTB a couple weeks ago. If we get the OTB YouTube channel to 100 subscribers, DJ and Hoots will be hosting the OTB College Show that will drop every Monday on the Outside the Box podcast YouTube channel and on the OTB RSS feed. So if you want college lacrosse content like full send and pretty much 2 episodes of OTB every week, subscribe to the Outside the Box podcast YouTube channel as well. And that is where the video version of the OTB College Show will happen once we get to 100 subscribers over there. So go subscribe to that channel as well. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. It's been episode number 718, still champs.
Yes, sir.
Of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Harrison, I'm KB. I know we promised Delco Danny this week, but the schedule kind of got a little crazy, so he'll probably be on with us next week because he's got a whole hell of a lot to say. Harrison met Delco Danny a little bit after last week's episode, and let's just say Harrison's a big fan. He's a big fan of Delco's finest. But yeah, next week,
he's gonna be on one next week.
Next week, Delco Danny will give us his thoughts on the Super Bowl victory, his stories from the parade. A whole lot went on with Delco Danny this past couple weeks in Philadelphia and in Delco. So he'll be on the pod with us next week. Gear up. It's going to be a fun one. But we're going to get the heck up out of here. I'll catch you guys on Monday for another episode of the pod where we'll talk even more birds. We'll talk some Phils, probably with spring training now in full swing. And I think games start before we even know it. The Phillies' first spring training game is this Saturday. We got Phil's baseball on Saturday at 1:05 p.m.
Hey, it's beautiful when the Eagles go on a long Super Bowl winning run because we don't have to wait too long for the Phillies to start right back up.
And I saw those pictures of Andrew Painter and Cole Hamels in camp, and if he's learning that Cole Hamels changeup, hachi machi, good luck.
Ooh, Andrew Painter is going to be painting some corners.
We'll talk about all that and more on Monday with you guys, but until then, we're getting that up out of here, and we are signing off. Peace.